Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with something quite interesting because recently a brand new line of dinosaur figures have begun showing up at Targets and some Walmarts. My local Walmarts don't have it, but some Walmarts do. These are the Grossmos dinosaurs, and I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to like the action feature aspect of these because it features slime, and I'm not a big slime guy. I will say the presentation of these is pretty darn cool. You can very clearly see we've got like a really cool T-Rex skull that the figures are contained within, and this one here was actually sent to me by my good friend Matthew. The others I purchased and acquired myself, but you can see again, basically you would pull this open, and then I think the slime comes out of there or something, or I forget exactly how we go about doing this. I think we're probably going to have to open one of these little slips up to figure it out. It does say, read me first. So inside the little slip, you can see again, read me first, Grossmos, and then inside it basically tells you to unwrap it. Then you pop open and completely remove the eye area. And then, oh, I'm supposed to add some water, and then the slime would come out of the nostrils of the dinosaur. And then we can open everything, we dig through, we build our dinosaur, and then apparently we have to take a little feeder that's inside, feed the dinosaur, and then I guess it's going to vomit or defecate. I'm not entirely sure what they all do, but you can see there are 8 different dinosaurs to collect in the line right now, one of which is apparently a surprise. We don't know exactly what we are looking at there as far as that guy goes, but again you can see feed to reveal a surprise, barf, big bang, or boogers. So pretty interesting, and again I can definitely see kids loving this sort of thing. It's interesting enough that kids would absolutely have a blast with it, but obviously I'm not too interested in the slime aspect of them, but I do still kind of want to see how exactly this all works. So we're going to get all of these out of here, and then we'll just open one for right now to show the actual slime part aspect. So knowing me, I'm probably going to add the wrong amount of water to it, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. I do also want to tell you, if you are going to do this and you have good clothes on, be very careful, because I actually just tried to open this little area on the previous skull, and when I did, I held it kind of sideways, and there's like a whole bunch of like dust, green dust inside, which I think is what creates the slime or whatever is going to fizzing. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it like spilled all over me, and now my shorts seem to be dyed green. So, you know, hopefully that washes out, but we'll see what happens, I guess, as we put this into the eye of the dinosaur. Let's try to position it in a way where we can see this occur. So here we go. As we can see, the dinosaur is now fizzing everywhere. I think it didn't quite come out. Wait, maybe we're coming out of the nose a little bit, it looks like right there. Maybe I just didn't put enough water in to get the full effect of everything kind of fizzing out. But I will say that does look pretty cool and was kind of neat. Again, I could definitely see why kids would enjoy that. So I'm going to pull this skull out of here, open up everything inside, and then we're actually just going to bring all of the dinosaurs in that I got. So just in case you are like me and you prefer not to really get all slimed up, my advice, don't open this. So basically all you need to do is remove the outer packaging, and the skull will open up when you try it, and as you can see, the inside hasn't been tampered with, so it hasn't opened up and put that dust everywhere. Not really slime, it's more like fizz, and once you put the dust inside, the water hits it, turns into fizz, pulls everything out of the mouth and everything, kind of makes a big mess. If you are a kid, you're going to love that, but if you are an adult collector like me that maybe just likes exaggerated dinosaurs, probably not going to be a big fan, so it is nice to know you can do that without actually making a huge mess. As far as the dinos I got, first of all, we have what I would say is the T-Rex. We also have a Triceratops, but he's missing his tail, and I don't know why. I don't know if somebody at the store maybe opened it up and stole his tail or what, but unfortunately, he's pretty much useless now. I'm going to have to find another one of him. We did also get the Pachycephalosaurus, and the other one is the Dilophosaurus. Unfortunately, I did get a repeat of the Pachycephalosaurus, so I'm left with 3 3/4 dinosaurs here, as the Triceratops, unfortunately, is missing the tail. I don't know if maybe that was something that happened at the factory, or if maybe it fell out at the store when someone was messing with it. I have no idea, but it definitely did not have the tail, so I don't know, maybe I'll have to try to email Grossmos or something and see if there's something they can do about it. But you know, you can see obviously they don't stand too well, but we've got 4 pretty cool looking dinosaurs, I will say that. We'll take a quick closer look at each of them before we bother. They don't really want to stand at all, honestly, but before we start messing with the goo coming out of their face. But as you can see, the Dilophosaurus looks pretty cool. He's got like a reddish brown color. He has kind of like that speckling similar to how Mattel does it, where the speckling shows up throughout the course of the color of the figure. You've got a brown for the crest. You've also got some nice variation of color in the frill, as you have like a light tone, then you've got a little bit of a reddish brown and then a darker brown. And the detailing again looks quite nice, honestly, on the figures. Like, for being just sort of goofy, exaggerated style dinosaurs, they're very impressive when it comes to the fine detail. As you move down into the side of the Dilophosaurus, you can still see that again. The skin texture looks really quite nice, actually quite highly detailed and pretty vibrant throughout. You obviously have a black tone kind of outlined with a white, very similar to a Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus that moves through the course of the body. You can see you've got a little short tail, and again, even the legs are nicely sculpted. You've got painted nails on both the hands and feet, and again, really quite nicely done. You have a lighter tone moving along the underside as well, so no laziness, no shortcuts taken when it comes to the color or anything of these figures. And even the eyes actually look really nice, and they have a gloss coat on them to help them shine. The inside of the mouth as well has a dark tone in there, and the teeth are all sculpted and painted, and no real sloppiness or anything as far as the inside of the mouth goes. Also, the fact that the Dilophosaurus has a frill is, you know, very Jurassic Park and Jurassic World-ish. But the Dilophosaurus is definitely my favorite of the group. I think that's the one that my friend Matthew sent to me, but they do kind of have articulation. You can move the arms forward and back and legs forward and back, but they do pop out pretty easily. You can also sort of move the neck because it actually kind of locks in, but you can only move it to the left. Once you turn it to the right, then it locks in. But definitely, oh, there we go, not the most stable thing in the world. But then you also have the Pachycephalosaurus, which as well looks pretty cool. You've got some greenish tones for the Pachy, and again, the detailing looks really well done. Like, there's a lot of sculpt and detail, and again, the detail looks so good and crisp. Honestly, these wouldn't be half bad to repaint. They'd be pretty fun. And you can see the beak is painted. You've also got, again, the eye painted with a yellow, and given that same kind of design as what we had on the Dilophosaurus. You can see we've got the dome painted with a light tone, but kind of like a greenish tone following around it, like a light green. And all of the spikes on the head are all painted. They didn't skimp out on any of them except for, of course, these following along the dome, but that's not really much of a big deal. There is definitely a little bit of a paint chip or something on the beak of mine, though, sadly. But then as you move down, you can see you have a lighter tone moving along the underside the entire way out. You have the nails painted and everything. So, again, pretty darn impressive when it comes to both the sculpt and paint. And the Pachycephalosaurus shares the same sort of articulation as the others. And again, it's a really cool species choice. I probably wouldn't have expected, had I not seen the figures prior, I wouldn't have expected a Pachycephalosaurus to have been included. We also, of course, have the T-Rex, and what's interesting about this is it almost looks like we have kind of like feathers on the top of the head. I can't tell if that's meant to be like a very large area of ridges or feathers. It looks like feathers to me. But the T-Rex also has quite a bit of variation of color. You can see greenish tones, you've got like grayish tones, you have blues moving along the top of the head down into the body, you have those greens basically following along the underside. Again, the nails painted through both the feet and the toes. And also, well, oddly enough, we actually have 2 dew claws, so maybe this is like a mutant hybrid T-Rex, but you can see again that both of the dew claws are painted. Half the time we can't get Mattel to paint one, and Grossmos has painted both. But again, all of the same articulation and everything, same paintwork for the eyes. The eyes are nicely painted, detailed, and glossed, but they don't really have much difference from one another. You can see the inside of the mouth as well has, again, some variation of color, but definitely a fun little T-Rex. Get him to stand. There we go. And then the final one that I have is the Triceratops, who looks like he's a pretty cool version of a Triceratops. It's just sad that, again, he's missing his tail, but very nice tone of blue for him. And again, when you look at the detailing here in the back, that's actually really impressive. It's really well done. You've got the yellow eyes, the horns are painted, all of the spikes around the frill are painted, and you have a darker blue in between each one of those areas of the frill. You probably see some water on it because I had to rinse this one off. This is actually the one that the powder spilled all over the place, all over my pants and everything, or my shorts. So definitely making a mess, and it wasn't even worth it because he doesn't have his tail. But you can see the nails are painted. There's even a little variation of color down there in the feet. So I can say Grossmos has done a good job as far as actually painting these figures out. And on top of that, sculpting them out. They are really well done. Pretty much overall, like when it comes to exaggerated dinosaur figures, they're super cool. The only downsides to them so far is the fact that the limbs pop off really easily, and also, again, the fact that they can be a little messy at times, but I think that's kind of the point of the figures. As far as the size goes, they're all fairly similar in size. You're looking at just shy of about 4 inches or 10 centimeters in height for the Dilophosaurus, and then for a length from the snout to the tail, I would say about 4 inches or around 10 centimeters in that direction. Again, pretty similar in size overall, so I don't feel like we need to measure each and every one, but we will, of course, do a size comparison. Which you can see Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Dilophosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being here next to our Grossmos dinos, and you can see that they are all very nicely sized, and even though they're on the smaller side when it comes to this type of goofy figure, they're a little bit bigger than I was expecting, like obviously a little bigger than like Snap Squads and stuff like that, so pretty neat. Again, pretty nice size. I don't feel like we need too many comparisons or anything for these guys. I think we'll do one more comparison, and that would basically be with a Captives and Mattel minifigure here. You can see they're a lot smaller than our Grossmos figures, so showing you that these are not quite minis, but they're still kind of on the smaller side. So since our Triceratops here, in my opinion, is the weak link, we're going to go ahead and feed him some of this stuff and then see what happens once we do. So you basically have to bottle feed your dinosaur here and get some of this. Oh boy, we're making a mess already. And now that he's got some slime in him, I guess we'll wait and see. Maybe I didn't put enough in, I'm not too sure. I don't know, I made kind of a mess with him now. Look at the slime coming out everywhere on his mouth. So he definitely is a little bit messy. Oh goodness, he's starting to defecate back there. Doesn't even have a tail on. I don't know if that's why that's happening. Oh, it's everywhere. I'm really not. Oh my gosh, it's coming out of his butt. Again, I don't know if maybe that would have connected to a hole in his tail. I have no idea. Let's squeeze him and see what happens. I didn't really get the full effect. I think I can't really, for some reason, get the slime to go in his mouth too much, but I'm also not too worried about this side of these toys. Obviously, you can see there is a fun feature with them being very messy and slimy, but not really something that I'm too interested in. We did see him blow a bubble, though, with his butt, which is pretty intriguing. So these Grossmos dinosaur figures are definitely fun, you know. Now that I have a few of them, I kind of want to complete the line. I almost had half if I would have just had the entire Triceratops here, because as the sheet earlier said, there are 8 to collect, and I do have 4 for the most part, or 3 3/4 here to take a look at, and all of them are really fun. I'm actually quite happy that I was able to acquire the Dilophosaurus and that T-Rex. Those are 2 of the ones I wanted the most, but again, I'm definitely impressed, not even just with the like goofiness of them and the weird action features. Again, well, not really much of an action feature, but weird gimmicks with the vomiting and everything, which again, kids will definitely enjoy. But I'm actually quite impressed with how good the figures themselves are. Like, the sculpts are very well done when it comes to the fine detail. detail. They definitely put a lot of time and effort into sculpting them out, and I like that they still have them with kind of like a goofy sort of stylized appearance, but at the same time still pretty high quality appearance as far as the sculpt goes. You know, when it comes to exaggerated, goofy dinosaur figures, these are probably some of the nicest I've seen in quite some time when it comes to the sculpting and detailing. I also like the fact that they do have quite a few different species in their line. That's pretty cool, and the paintwork of the figures is also really well done for what they are. They have probably some of the best paintwork I've seen in a while when it comes to mass-produced dinosaur toys of this type. You know, these goofy style figures. They made sure that all of the figures have paintwork from head to tail, all of the nails painted, everything that you would expect, and even nicely detailed decals for the eyes. So as a whole, you know, they really are quite nice. I would definitely recommend picking some of them up, whether it be for the goofiness with the vomiting and all the slime and fizzing and all that stuff, or just in general if you want some really cool kind of stylized dinosaur toys. These guys are definitely fun figures. So if you are interested, I will include a link in the description where you can order them from Target.com, or of course you should check in store again at Target or at Walmart and see if they have them in there. But definitely fun figures, definitely worth picking up. So make sure you do that, and of course like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.